Okay, so Rebbe's live. Now, I only have 4 in the room, so if Rebbe wants to wait 2 more minutes before we get started, I'm going to go back to the group and try to get some guys on.
Okay. Okay, I'll wait a few minutes. Wait a minute. Meanwhile, I want to tell everybody that today is a very special day. Yud Aleph Shabbat. It's Reb Noach Weinberg Zetzal's yard site. It's Reb Noach's yard site. So I was thinking about the fact that it's Reb Noach's yard site, and an idea came to me. I just want to pass it by you. You don't have to agree. If you think that it's going to take up too much time, it's not worth it, so then just tell me. But what I was thinking of doing was, let's say, after I finish my presentation every week, so I would do 2 or 3 of the 48 ways. And that way we'll finish by Shavuos. If I do 2 a day and some days 3 a day, then we will finish by Mitzvah Shem by Shavuos, by Kabbalah Torah. So, and are you interested in that, in the 48 ways, or should we not bother?
I'm definitely interested in it, Rebbe. I think it would be amazing. And we can add it at the end of the Masha's Corner. And I think it would be amazing for guys being in every single.
I concur.
Get the next ones a month.
Great idea.
Okay, anybody else?
I'm open for that too. It always helps.
Okay. Okay, so we have a small group. All right, let's start. Let's start. So I mentioned already, today is Reb Noach Weinberg Zetzal's yard site, and we're thinking about every time, every Zoom, at the end of the Zoom, doing 2 or 3 of the 48 ways, which means we'll be finished the 48 ways by Shavuos, by Kabbalah Torah. Okay, now what I want to talk about tonight, is something else. I want to talk about something else. It says in Parshas Beshalach, it says, "V'chamushim olu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim," that they went up chamushim, armed, from Eretz Mitzrayim. So that's the first shot. But Rashi says the second one, chamushim, echad mechamisha yetzu, only 1 out of every 5, only 1 out of every 5 went out, 4 stayed and didn't go. Ba'aba chalakim mesu b'shloshim mea fela, and the other 4 died. The other 4 died in the days of darkness. In the days of darkness, during Choshech. And if you look on Parshas Bo, when it goes to Choshech, so there Rashi says, more specifically, Shayu b'Yisrael ba'oso dor Rishoyim, and some say it was just Rishoyim, right? There was in that generation Rishoyim, or those that just were Posheya. They rebelled. V'lo ayu roitzim l'tzet. They didn't want to leave Mitzrayim. They wanted to stay. V'meisu b'shlosh yemei afela, and they died in the 3 days of darkness. Kedei shalo yiru Mitzrayim v'mapolotam, so that the Egyptians should see their fall. V'yamru af haim loikim kamono, and say that, you see, the Jews are also getting punished just like us. The Jews are getting punished just like us, just like we're dying, so the Jews are dying also. So that shouldn't happen. So during the last 3 days of Afela, those Rishoyim that didn't want to leave, they died. So I asked myself, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Who would not want to leave? I mean, there were slaves in Egypt. There were slaves. The Egyptians, there were slaves. The children, right? So the children were killed, right? They were persecuted. And they witnessed all the miracles, all the nisim of the Makkos. They witnessed all the Makkos, right? That's the Yad Hashem. They saw the Yad Hashem, right? How is it that they wouldn't want to leave Rishoyim? And so many of them, 4 out of 5 did not want to leave Mitzrayim. It's mind-boggling. How could that be? So one thing it shows us, and one thing we have to take notice, right? And that is that most of us don't want to change our ways. We don't want to change our ways. We feel secure. We don't want to change our life. Right? I just want to ask you fellas, what do you think? What do you think? Let's say, theoretically, that somebody would come and say, okay, Mashiach is here. But forget about Al Kanfei Nisharim and all the Nisim. Mashiach is here. Do you think that they are Americans who would say, I have a 2-car garage, and I have 2 cars that go into the 2-car garage, and I'll wait a while. I'm not coming over so fast. Do you think the Americans that would say, okay, Mashiach is here, but I'll have time. I'll have time. I'm not. Or do you think that the Western Jews would say, no, Mashiach's here. I'm coming right now. What do you think, fellas? What do you think?
I think the majority would stay in America. Yeah, I mean, you look around and you don't realize that you're in Gullus. You have everything around you. You're comfortable. You got the backyard. You have that beautiful Svarim Shrank, and you're learning. You've got your Schottenstein. You've got your English. Everything's here. It's not easy. Well, I'm trying to remember which were the 2 Shvatim that were punished because they established themselves before going to Eretz Yisrael, before entering Eretz Yisrael to help conquer.
Who is talking? It's very hard for me to see from the.
It's Eliyahu Lerner.
Eliyahu. So you hear what Eliyahu says. He says he thinks that the majority of Americans would say, I'm not coming so fast. I'm going to stay here. I'm comfortable. I got everything I need over here, right? My family has what they need over here, right? Again, my 2-car garage is filled with 2 cars. I can't take that to Israel. A lot of Americans, Westerners, would say, not right now. I'll wait and see what happens. And I'm not talking about Haredi. I'm talking about, every Yid has to come. Not necessarily Haredi. Maybe the Haredim would come. Maybe not so fast. It depends. But you guys, you hear that Eliyahu wants to tell us that a lot of people in America and England, and in the Western world will say, okay, but I'm gonna not right now. So if that's the case, we can understand that there was someone who want to leave Mitzrayim. They had security. They had what to eat, right? They were slaves. They had to do work. Okay, everybody has to work, but they had security. and they didn't want to leave, which is amazing. Which is amazing. So the question is, how do we prepare ourselves for Mashiach? And how do we get everybody aboard? How do we get everybody aboard? The first thing to do probably is to connect to each other. To connect to each other. Because if we are one and we're connected, then when we tell them, let's go, Mashiach is here, they'll want to come. And that means by feeling the pain and feeling the simcha, sharing life with others. It's hard. It's not so easy. It means by trying to feel what other people feel, try to be close to our fellow Jews, right? But it may be hard, but from Sarah Agra, the more difficult it is, the more reward it is. Nothing comes without efforts. Nothing comes without efforts, right? You know, the Tzav Zaris, I can't find my Tzav Zaris right now. I don't know when everything that went on in the past many weeks. So all my swarm, well, I don't know what happened. I lost a lot of swarm. I can't find a lot of swarm. But the Tzav Zaris says he was already 40, Nebuch, old man. He was already 40. And he said that I'm already 40. He said, what should I work on? He said, if I'm not fully myself, he thinks that right now he doesn't have to worry too much about Tivus. He's sort of beyond that, right? What should he work on? So he says, I want Pashat to be Megayer, to convert. When we convert, he said, this is the Pietzner Rebbe. The Pietzner Rebbe in the Warsaw Ghetto said, I want to be a real Yid. I want to be a Jew. I want to feel what a Jew feels. This is the Pietzner Rebbe. He was, by the way, the last Rav of the Warsaw Ghetto. Everybody came to ask him shaylas, right? Whether they were Hasidish or not Hasidish, it didn't make a difference. He was the Rav of the Warsaw Ghetto, and he was taken 4 days, I believe, before the ghetto went up in flames. He was captured, and he went on Kiddush Hashem. Hashem came on. But the Pietzner Rebbe says that we have to all be together. We have to be Tzav Zaris. He wants to be Megayer, so to speak. He wants to be a real Jew and to feel everything that other Jews feel and to be together with them. That's what he wants to do. So that's the avoda that we have to connect with each other, so that when the time comes, when the time comes, our fellow Jews will want to join us and come to Eretz Yisrael to greet the Mashiach. Okay, so I'm going to go back to what we started with, and that is the Rav Noach Weinberg's Zetzal's yahrzeit today, and some of the fellows were interested in. I'll start with. I'll do two of them now. We'll start now. I just figured out if we do 2 of the 48 ways, every broadcast, every Zoom, we'll do 2 of the 48 ways, and and 3 on some days. Then we'll finish by Shavuos, by Kabbalas Torah. So I'm just gonna tell you, the first one is loimed. And that just means just to learn. That means to be a learner. That your whole mahus, your whole being is to learn from everything you see. First of all, Allah made me call Adam. Every person can teach you something. You may know more about, more Gemara than he does. You may know, you may have learned more of Shas than he has learned, right? But every person, no matter who he is, there's something that we can learn from him. So we're going to learn from every single person, right? And we're going to be at the mahos of a learner. We're going to mamish every situation that we're in. We're going to say, what does that teach me? What is that telling me? What am I learning from? That'll be on the mahos. Your whole being has to be a learner. The second one is Shmias Ozen. Shmias Ozen is the listening of the ears. What do you listen with without ears? Of course, listening of the ears. And what's telling you is that not just with the ears, listen with your ears, but then your mind has to hear it. You have to try to understand it. You have to try to fathom it. You have to understand what is the person really saying, right? When you do that, then you'd be well on the way of growing into your Shemayim. So the first two of the 48 ways is to be a learner, and the second one is to listen with your whole being, with your whole ears and everything. That's the second one. Okay, fellows, it was great having you, and I just want to say B'Servus Tovos that Baruch Hashem, my wife is much better. She's home, and I think she's going off taking constantly oxygen. She's going to be on her own. Chazdei Hashem Mamish, like Reb Rosen said, it's not a Nes Nister, it's a Nes Nidler. But she's back and she's healthy and she's more aware, remembers more than I do. You're blaming on Corona, but Baruch Hashem, we've gone a long way from those weeks when she was just not with us. Chazdei Hashem. Chazdei Hashem. So thank you very much for joining, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Be well.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Take care. Take care. Go to shalom.